So, hello and welcome to Intuitive Connection. I'm your host, intuitive counselor, and spiritual guide, Victoria Shaw. And today I'm hopping in front of the microphone and camera to share a little bit about sunny days. Yep. Sunny days. So this weekend here in San Diego was just like the most beautiful weekend. It was like sunny and breezy, and yours truly spent it totally in the sun. I don't know if those of you who are watching on video can tell. And it was just really magnificent. And, I woke up this morning and it's not so sunny, and the fog is taking a little bit longer to burn off. And I was thinking about a couple of things. One, I was thinking about some thoughts that I had before moving to California. And I was thinking, I used to think this all the time too when I lived in Connecticut, which is like a less reliable weather state for someone like me who likes warmth and sun. Right. And I remember thinking, like, what will my life be, or what would my life be, depending on where I was with respect to my move, if I lived in a place that was like reliably sunny, that was just like always sunny. Like, how would that change my life if I could always just wake up every morning and know I was going to see sun? Because that's something I actually think about a lot. And, since moving to California, some of you know, if you've been following the show, that I bought a beautiful home, but like a little less than a mile from the beach. I walk to the beach almost every day. I can see the waves, and the whales and the dolphins playing from my window. But one of the things that I didn't really recognize about living in San Diego, so close to the beach, is we have the marine layer. So there are many, many days when the clouds are over my house and it's cold. And if I were to go inland like 10 or 15 minutes, it's warm and sunny and delightful. And so this has been a point of frustration for me because I'm a sun lover, and I moved to California because I wanted that experience of always having sun. Like, that was the whole point of moving to the Sunshine State. I think actually the Sunshine State is Florida, but nonetheless, I've been there too. Not reliably sunny, but plenty of sunshine there too. But anyhow, so it's been a point of frustration for me. And one of the things that a lot of my coastal neighbors say that I really have not been able to get through my head is, would you really want it to be sunny every day? They're like, would you really want it to be sunny every day, Victoria? Don't you like the variety? Don't you like the fact that those sunny days are so much more, exciting for us because, they don't come all the time? And, my typical answer to that question is, yeah, I would like it to always be a sunny day. That's my answer. That's what I would like. But I wanted to tune in today with the guides to really feel into that question, right? Does it always need to be how we want it to be for us to be happy? Right. And do we really want a world where things are always exactly as we want them? Right. And is that even possible? So that is the topic of our conversation with the guides today. And if you are not familiar with me, or you're new to listening to the podcast, or you're just finding this episode here on YouTube, I call myself an intuitive counselor and spiritual guide. I have years and years of education in counseling and psychology. But what I really do in my work is connect with my guides and the guides of my listeners, clients, etc. And spirit guides are highly evolved beings that are here to support us on this human journey, especially at this time where humanity is going through great changes and this, mass awakening. And I love to be part of that journey by being connected with and the, mouthpiece for my guides and your guides But also remembering that, my role as a human being here on the ground, so to speak, is really important too. So everything that I do is a cooperation between those two things, being my human self and connecting with my higher self and spiritual support team and yours as well. And but today I want to get some 411 on this dilemma from the guides because my brain says this, and the guides are right here. I always experience them right there. So I know they're ready to go. But for me, I know from things that I have learned or been taught or read or heard from my very own guides, that, contrast, this idea that, there's good, there's bad, there's things we like, there's things we don't like. And I think preference is a little bit better than judgment, right? So good or bad is a judgment. And then preference is just an experience. Ooh, this feels good. Ooh, this doesn't feel good. And the guides say these things often get blurred in the human realm. And so the first thing that they want me to point out to you is that they're two different things, right? I can prefer a sunny day. I can be just so very happy when the sun is shining while, at the same time, not judging the clouds, right? I'm not saying like, ooh, clouds are bad, clouds are wrong, clouds are evil, right? In fact, more and more now, I'm starting to enjoy the clouds too. But, historically, I have always been one to prefer the sunny days. I'm just a sun lover. It's just how I'm wired, right? So that first level of discernment is in this world in life, we can have preference without judgment. Those are two very different things. Preference is simply tuning into what feels good, what doesn't feel good in the now. Because that's the second point that I want to make. And the guides, they're not stopping me. The second point is that, we often form these ideas about ourselves, about life, based on, a preference that happens at some point, and then we generalize it, right? So Victoria, that's me, could say, I like the sun. I only like the sun. I'm only happy when it's sunny. When it's not sunny, I shall be miserable, right? And that's going to make my life kind of right? And it might not even be accurately true if I'm really tuning in. For example, there are some days when I'm like, oh my goodness, thank goodness there's no sun. I can finally get some work done. Or the last couple of days, I have been really enjoying. We had a couple like really foggy days, and watching the fog roll in and out is just so beautiful. And when I see the fog roll in, as beautiful it is, I know the sun will be bye bye for a while and that I will be cold and not be able to sunbathe, which sometimes does make me feel sad. But that doesn't mean that I can't enjoy the beauty of the lighting and the clouds and the dance and those things that they're doing too, right? They actually make my view sometimes very, very, very interesting and beautiful, right? So there's all these different variations of our preferences. And what the guides say when we can tune into the now, right? Without judging it, without saying it's a cloudy day. I don't like cloudy days, therefore I'm miserable, which apparently they say my brain does quite a lot, and rather allow that. While I typically prefer sunny days, and sunny days make me smile, and I really have enjoyed the sunny days in the past, like this past weekend we had, that was absolutely delightful. I can also find joy everywhere that I seek it. And so I can learn to find joy and comfort sometimes even in the places where, I don't like it. And they're saying, and I want to quiet down so I can really hear that. They're saying that oftentimes it's the story about what we think we like or not that gets in the way rather than our raw experience of what's going on in the now. Now, I want to pause because the guides are not saying that you have to force yourself to like something that you don't, because that's ridiculous, right? We're going to have preferences. We're going to have some things are going to feel good and some things are going to feel bad. And I believe what they're saying, and they can stop me if not, but they're telling me to go ahead. I think what they're saying is, when you're in a state that is not categorically preferential, so not something that you believe that you like, right? Or you might not be experiencing enjoyment from a situation right now, right? Probably in some way because your brain is telling you that it is not pleasurable and enjoyable. Anywhere where you can find even the little bit of joy or the little bit of relief if you're super low and you have to go there, will help you get back in line with what you want and will bring more things that are aligned with what brings you joy into your space. Because it is not your mind figuring out what you like or what you don't like that will help you to experience more joy in your life. Wait, what? No, it's true. You don't have to figure out, well, what do I like? Where do I want to live? No. What you really need to do is focus on joy making and joy finding in your life. And then your life will guide you. Your life will guide you. And opportunities will open up to take this door, or make this choice or that choice, or sometimes just completely stay put and lie on your little beanbag lounge chair. I got one of those, and enjoy the sunny day, right? Because it is from that joy within that we attract more joy out there. Right. So there's no figuring involved. The figuring, if you want to do it, is just fun, right? Like I'm doing right now. I'm tuning in, I'm receiving information. I'm curious. I'm trying to understand, right? But I don't let that understanding rule my life, right? Because it doesn't serve, right? But I have learned, or I am learning, right, to flow with life a little bit more and understand, what to do on those cloudy days. But this begs the deeper question that I came in here answering, right? Like, would I enjoy my life more if there were no cloudy days? Right? Would I enjoy life more if it was always going my way or how I thought it should go? And the guides say that the answer to that question is categorically no. Now, they say, look, you may choose at some point to have the experience of living in a zone of climate. I added the word climate. They were just using the word zone, where the sun is shining a more, they're using funky words today, preponderance of the time. All right. So I may enjoy to live in a region that has more sun than living right on the coast in San Diego. And that's something I'm feeling into. Right. And there are little microclimates here that are far sunnier, reliably sunnier than where I am now. And I may still choose to have that experience. I think at some point I probably will, because it's something that I've wanted to experience for most of my life. Particularly my adult life. And they say, you'll find problems there too. They said, you'll find problems there too. Perhaps the weather will no longer be your tagline for, what's bothering you, but you will always find areas to nitpick. They say it's part of life. It's part of the human experience. And more than that, because they say the nitpicking itself is totally optional, you though it's quite likely, they say, knowing me, I'll continue to do it. Now they're being very, very, they're just messing with me. And anywho, they're being very loving in that. But the point is that we are human beings here to constantly discern, what do we enjoy, what do we not enjoy, what do we want to explore next, what interests us now, what's not interesting. So if the weather was off the table for me and it was always sunny, right, the weather would probably seek to be of interest to me at all, right? And I would want to explore other things. Or perhaps, having it be sunny all the time would turn my preferences on their head. Suddenly I'd be looking for shade and looking for umbrellas and looking for sunblock products, which I already am, by the way, because, the little bit of sun here is quite strong. Right. And so oftentimes they say, even when we're delivered towards that which we seek, right, we still find this contrast, right? We still find this interests me, this doesn't interest me. I enjoy this, I don't enjoy this, that. Or if we are using a more judgmental lens, this is good, this is bad, right? And it'll always shift and change depending on our shifting and changing perspective, which is why, right, we're always going to want to continue to explore, right? And that's what they say this is all about. It's an exploration. It's feeling into this virtual reality that you have created for yourself, which seems very real to me, and feeling into this virtual reality again and again and exploring it and exploring like, ooh, I want to go right. Ooh, I want to go left. Ooh, I want to zoom in on that. Ooh, I want to zoom out on that. Right. And that is part and parcel, they say, of the joy of the human experience. That is what your soul is here to do. So they say, irregardless of if every day is sunny for you or not, or whatever your metaphor is, a certain amount of contrast is inevitable, but they say also preferable. And they're saying too, and this one is deep, so I want to quiet down so I can really hear it. They're saying too, so many of you are used to a certain level of drama or distress in your life. You have these long-standing problems that you want to pursue and explore, and you're somewhat addicted to them. They say, like Victoria's relationship with the sun, right? Think about her story. They say she moves to California all ready to put that lounge chair in cement and be on it 24/7, and to have so much sun that her sun-seeking behaviors went poof. Because really, I will drop everything on a sunny day because I love my son that much, right? And they said, and yet still she carried the conundrum of the weather with her all the way from Michigan to Connecticut to Florida to California, right? Because this is something that she's still exploring, still enjoying. It is a problem that has been longstanding in her mind, and therefore it's still very real for her. And therefore, she is still exploring and experiencing it. Wow. I got to take a minute to take that in. And they say too, my friends, that there's nothing wrong with this. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this. Though I'm feeling somewhat chastised right now. I know that my guides love me. And they love you too. And your guides love you too. Right. But oftentimes we do have these stories, these problems, these habits, these patterns, right? Me, it's like chasing a sunny day, right? And even if you live in sunny Southern California, right? You still make trouble for yourself because that's what you're used to. That's what you're used to. Moreover, you may not be resonant, they say, with the ever sunny climate, right? Because you're still so used to the problem of the cloudy day, right? That you're still vibing with it. And so, it will follow you everywhere. And that's a really funny thought as I start to wind down this episode, because the guides have been telling me, they gave me a little mantra, and I've been playing with it, right? And the mantra is this. And there's a song involved too, but I don't know if I'm going to share that with you. The mantra is this: the sun follows me everywhere. Everywhere I go, the sun follows me everywhere I go. Right? I can't even remember the song, thank goodness. So I can't share. Right? But the sun follows me everywhere I go. Right? I love the sun, and the sun loves me, and she follows me. And I've been playing with that. And really, like, what would it be if I believed that, right? Rather than chasing the sun follows me. She's there all the time, wherever I need her, whenever I need her. She will be there for me. She is the ever constant. She is my love. She is my joy. She is my friend, right? She is my birthright, and she will follow me and be there with me whenever I desire, right? It's a very different way of looking at things. And the guides say we can look at all of the things that we seek through that lens, right? Allow them. I want to hear this right from the guides. Allow that which you seek to follow you, right? Or that which you seek you, to follow you, to come to you, and know that it always will. So back to the question of, would I enjoy living somewhere that was reliably sunny every single day. And the question is, no matter what the guides say, I don't know, but at some point I know that I shall probably choose to experience that. And I have to say too, in California, even on cloudy days, on many days, it's simply a 15-minute drive, sometimes a 5-minute drive, sometimes a 2-minute walk to find the line where the sun begins. So it's frustrating, but it's still better than many places where I have lived before. If I want to go warm up, there are often places that I can find. But the deeper thing that the guys want to say is some level of contrast, right? Some level of not what we seek is part of the human journey. It's part of the human journey, and it will always be there with you. And as we learn to not judge our experience based on whether it suits us or not, but rather use it to deepen our muse, right? That's when life gets really exciting and ironically more enjoyable, right? So they're telling me, use that cloudy day to deepen the muse, to feel into what I want. Can I find the joy in the clouds? Is it, am I going to feel into, because those things will, if we use them properly, will help us create something new. They will help us deepen our joy. They will help us clarify what brings us joy, right? And they will allow us to recognize that all is well, right? Even when the human mind says it's not. All right, I'm going to stop there. I have no idea what came through today. Some of it I was following along with, and some of it just came out of my lips. So I'm excited to listen to this one again, and I hope it was valuable for you. And I'm not going to peek, but I do think my sun is coming for me later today, and I hope your proverbial or literal sunshine is right on the horizon for you too. Because remember, what you seek is already seeking you. All right. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and namaste.